Here's Frank Lampard. He's with Archie Rinton.
Frank, you knew it was going to be difficult tonight, but it's ended up being a heavy defeat. How do you feel the team performed this evening?
I thought they performed all right. It's difficult to say that after a 4-1 defeat. I'm not happy. You don't want to lose the game here, but when you conceded 2 goals early, I thought the resilience of how we got back into the game. Unfortunate, I think, with the Callum's goal. Then we get a goal at 2-1. We're fully in the game and competing with what is a top team. You know, when you match up our Champions League appearances to theirs, and you look through their team, I think you can see a big reason there in what we've seen tonight. But I saw lots of good things in the team. Also some of the bad that we've seen this season, which is where we need to improve. And at 2-1, we're competing in a game. We don't get our goals. We have individual errors that gift them goals. And at this level, that will finish you off.
You've mentioned it there. You said to me before the game that your team is a slight work in progress. How do you see the season overall? Because I know a lot of fans are very positive about your work at the club.
Yeah, I think it's not slight, it's a work in progress. It's not the norm for Chelsea in the last 15, 20 years where you have players of teams of the prime Hazard and Costa and prime Cech, Terry, Drogba. I mean, those teams competing for Premier League titles year on year, getting to semi-finals and finals regularly. We know that's not the case. We lost the best player in the league pretty much in Eden Hazard. We have a lot of players that are young and who have been on loan and come back, and I think they've developed greatly through the year, and that's why people would not normally commend Chelsea coming 4th season. It's not always been the levels, but a lot of people and people were here working, and the fans, the feeling is, and we're not happy with 4th, we want more, but the feeling is that we've achieved something with the group we have, but now is the important time to not rest, to not settle with the 4th and think, where can we improve with the players? As a club, where can we improve?
Already got some big new names through the door this summer. Hakim Ziyech for one, Timo Werner for another. Do you feel the club needs to strengthen further in the coming weeks?
We'll look at that, because that's our job, my job, us. We're very joined up at how we've worked at it already, and from having a transfer ban,
Chelsea against what is a very good Bayern Munich team.
Yeah, definitely, and I think it was a step too far for a lot of these young players, and I think it was for Frank. I'm sure he would have learned a little bit about a few of these players, but I think he would have gone there. His expectations wouldn't have been probably much more than what he got on the end of today. But Bayern Munich look a formidable team at the moment. They look the most convincing team in the tournament for me. They look like the standout favourites now.
They're very slick.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying I thought they were the only team that didn't really have a weakness. I see where Rio's coming from defensively, because even Chelsea troubled them. But I still think they're the best balanced team, you know, in terms of everything: goal scorers, creativity, pace.
They've got the depth. I mean, obviously we're going into a period where it's a knockout, it's a week. There might be a few injuries in this period. Have they got the depth, strength in depth?
Toliso's pretty good. Starts for most teams in the world. Coutinho, I mean, Perisic. Javi Martinez. I mean, they got so many.
The answer to that question is
yes. They've got a lot of good players.
The only problem if Lewandowski gets injured, all the teams, if their best player gets injured, there's not the like-for-like replacement, but they have still got the likes of Muller who could go up into that kind of false nine position if need be. But I mean, they're a great team, and I love really watching them play such fluid football.
Yeah, and we saw plenty of fluid football right throughout the night. Let's pick up on the second half. Toliso's goal.
Yeah, I mean, we've got it here in a touchscreen because it was just to break it down a little bit. I think we spoke about the defensive frailties, centre-back areas for Chelsea before the game, but I'll stop it here. And again, I hate to pick on the defenders, but it's not only them. I think it's the midfielders as well. In a team, if you want to stop goals going in the pitch, I'm highlighting 3, 4, 5, 6 players. The ball's wide. If you do not communicate and talk and help each other in the box, you will be punished. And not one of these players, I swear to you, has said a word, muttered anything to the other to say, listen, man on the shoulder, drop back. If you're just looking at it so easy and quickly, Kurt, drop back. Christensen, drop back. Then Emerson can drop back. The left back there, Emerson, he has to be the one there really talking as well. He has to be the one talking to the likes of Kurt Zouma.
He's not looking at the players.
But I was saying to Rio, because they're the centre-backs, I would be saying to Rio, as a midfield player, players run off me, I'm too late, he's coming into the box, check your shoulder. And that's how you know they haven't communicated, because none of the centre-backs turn around to look for Tolisso.
Exactly.
I think it's hard for the defenders like Rio, because they're looking at the cross, aren't they?
But you're governed by your fullback there. The person on the opposite side of the pitch, you're highlighted, number 33 there, Emerson. He's the guy who should be communicating, and the guys on the edge of the box. They can see everything there, but they don't. And I'll let it run slowly. You don't see one player's head turn until the ball's gone past them. Look, the ball's gone past the two centre-backs, startled. Oh, there's a man behind us. It's comical almost. And it is, again, I'm sure, Frank, sometimes you get a game as a management team, and you say, again, that pushes home the narrative as actually, we do need to reinforce in them areas. Not just as players, but as characters, as people that can communicate. You spoke about John Terry before. Listen, to buy that type of player in this current market, it's a £150 million player, and they're not about. But you need someone, maybe sometimes it's not just about ability, it's about someone, a man can come in and say, you move here, you get there, and who can conduct.
Yeah. We saw Lewandowski with that great cross there. Strikers know how to cross the ball because they know how they like to receive it. Didn't take him long to add to his remarkable tally this season.
I mean, honestly, 2 goals, 2 assists. And the thing is, I don't think we could argue he's the most complete centre forward, isn't he? I mean, just in terms of his overall packages.
The number 9. He's classic. He's probably the best in world football, isn't he?
Yeah, his hold-up plays, finishing. I mean, this proper centre forward and just bang.
He's told Tolisso as well, get out of the way. Again, we talk about, can we get a man playing football? Get out of the way, this is me. I know what to do here. I've been here many a time. Tolisso ducks. Exactly, great header. Textbook that.
Yeah. Let's take you back to very early in the game when Bayern Munich took the lead. Both of you have a view on what led to the penalty being given.
Go on.
You start, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, with Thiago, when he's at the heart of it there, but the big difference is now, Kimmich playing as a right back, he's the width and Davis on the left, so they're almost wingers, so Gnabry can come inside, plays quite central, almost with Thomas Müller, creates a slight bit of an overload there. And look at Lewandowski, he's completely unmarked. Christian Zuma completely lost him, and they cause you so many issues, because they're so flexible.
Yeah, and it's the rotation, and we can't say, you've got to stress this isn't easy, but you see here the look from Christensen. He sees there's a number 9, there's a danger man, but look at his position. He drifts into the middle of the pitch. He goes away from the man who's got 50 plus goals of the season. Zero awareness. And listen, I said this is top level. It's not easy. It's difficult. But if you're not aware in these situations of who you're playing against and the danger men on the pitch, you get punished.
Let me ask you a question. As a centre half, can you teach that? Can you be taught? Can you learn that? Or does it have to come naturally?
It's a great question. You can learn it. I think it comes with experience. You need to see these situations.
Yeah.
You need to be humble to look back on these videos and take the criticism, and then when these situations arise again in a game, I've seen this, make an adjustment in the way you play it, different to the last time, and then don't continue making the same mistakes. And many times we're seeing some of these players make the same mistakes.
When you were young and coming up and playing in that position, and you watch perhaps someone in a studio like this criticising perhaps one of your performances, would you listen to that?
Educate me, please.
Yes.
Yeah, because
so you take that in like a sponge.
100%. I was a sponge when I was a young player. I would ask questions all the time. I'd watch the likes of yourself, etc. People critiquing on these type of platforms. But if I felt it was personal, I'd have an issue. But if if a situation's being broken down and I can sit there and go, you know, actually, you're enlightening me there, and I see that, I understand right now. Next game, that situation arises again, then it's down to that game intelligence. Can you rectify that mistake? And if you do that, you've got a chance of then elevating yourself from where you are.
Exactly. Absolutely the top level. Well, Bayern Munich were top level for most of the game. Perisic, 2-0. Talk us through that one, Owen.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, we're talking about Lewandowski, Müller, Perisic barely plays. And the thing is, that's the biggest difference now, is the press and the intensity of the press. They win it back. Müller, bit of patience. Lewandowski puts it on the plate for Perisic, and I mean, they get goals from everywhere now, don't they? Tolisso got one later on, but that's the biggest difference. That's why Bayern are better than they were previously. They work harder out of possession. Obviously, offensively they're off the charts. The defensively have improved, but if they're getting goals from Perisic and Coutinho and Tolisso, good luck to everyone else.
Remember, it was only well over 12 months ago now, of course, because of lockdown, etc. But we watched Bayern Munich against Liverpool, and They were poor, weren't
Ripped to shreds.
they? I mean, the difference
Yeah.
between that team and this team is huge.
Well, I think that was really humbling for Bayern Munich to get so well played from Jurgen Klopp's side that they realised, wow, we're a long way off, Europe's best. But all of a sudden now, change the style, a few
football
little
changes
tweaks,
very
and they
quickly.
just.
I think
they're
a
there.
big change as well is that they're not overplaying at the back.
Yeah.
A lot of their problems at Anfield that day came from Neuer, the centre halves, overplaying and creating their own problems. Here, if it's not on, he goes longer into over them. They play to their strengths, which is in the attacking third.
Yeah, Thiago, we talked about him before the game. He's been linked with Liverpool, of course. He was terrific again, wasn't he?
Oh, he's a real playmaker, a deep.
Him. Get the checkbook out because he's special.
We look over our shoulders, you'll see we've got the last 8. Right, give me your finalists.
I'm going to go. I want Paris Saint-Germain to get there because the likes of Mbappe and the Neymar, you want them glamour players to be there.
That's the other side.
I'm going for Bayern. I mean, the way they've been performing.
I've got a feeling Owen might agree.
Yeah, no, I think it's PSG to be in the final, but I think Bayern to be too good for PSG.
Does
in
it
the
make a
final.
difference with it's one leg? Does that level things up a little bit? 'Cause
It adds to it, doesn't it? It makes it better, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does, yeah.
One game, it's like the FA Cup. Giant killers. Anyone can beat anyone on any given day, and you haven't got that backup and that kind of security. Or we can take them home next game.
Yeah, it takes
This
away
is
that
here.
away goal thing, doesn't it? And the tactical thinking. Just go for it.
Manchester City can win it.
I think they're still one of the best teams in the competition. But I just think Bayern have a bit more variables to the game.
We might find out in the semi-final. There's long way to go, of course.
Willie, not the result you would have hoped for tonight. What exactly went wrong for Chelsea?
Well, a few things wrong, but we arrived here with a very bad result from the first game. So we tried to do our best, but from the beginning we conceded for the penalty from the start of the game. So it was a little bit difficult, but we showed good character to play the game. Then they show more quality and more clinical in our own box. So they deserve to be in the next round.
I know the fans as a whole, though, were very positive about how the campaign has been. How would you sum up the season as a whole?
Well, we can see in different ways. We did it but so proper in the Premier League, but we were unlucky in the Cup, and also now in the Champions League we are saying goodbye. But we did a proper tournament in the Premier League. We are in the next Champions League, so this is good for the team. But nothing to regret today. I think the guys ran a lot and did a proper job on the pitch.
You've become the #1 goalkeeper at the club in the past few months, and how do you see your role at the club going forward? Do you expect to keep that jersey?
Well, I try. I got a contract 1 more year in this club. I'm really happy to play with this T-shirt, and I would like to keep playing because in the last month I became the first option, the first choice, and we'll see what happens in the future. But I keep working hard to have this opportunity again.
Have the club said anything to you on it?
No. Just the boss said that I have to play this couple of games. But as I say always, I've been in the bench or in the second position as a goalkeeper. But I always train with the mentality as a first choice.
Willie, thanks for your time.